All right, let's talk about something that happens every single holiday season. There's this silent pressure, right? This feeling that you have to be joyful, you have to be cheerful, your house has to be perfect, even when you are just running on empty. Today, we're going to dig into why that pressure is so intense and the surprising damage it might actually be doing. So get a load of this number. This should really stop you in your tracks. The latest research is showing that nearly 70% of professionals feel this intense pressure to seem happier than they really are during the holidays. I mean, just think about that. That is the vast majority of us putting on a show, hiding our stress and exhaustion behind a wall of tinsel and lights. Sound familiar?
And that brings us to the big, kind of scary question, doesn't it? What if all that work, all that obsessive planning to create this perfectly magical experience, what if that's the very thing that's pushing away the people you love the most?
To really get our heads around this, we first have to, diagnose what's happening. This thing has a name, and it shows up with incredible force in certain communities. It's creating this widespread but totally silent crisis that so many of us are living through without even knowing there's a name for it.
And here's the term performative happiness. Now, this isn't just about faking a smile for a photo. No. As you can see here, it's a sustained behavioral strategy. It's a kind of emotional labor we do because we feel like we've signed some invisible social contract that says, during the holidays, everyone must be happy all the time.
And in affluent areas, like Chester County in Pennsylvania, for example, this gets a specific name, the perfect holiday front. You know what this looks like. The calendar is jam-packed with these high-status, almost mandatory events. Your home stops being a home and becomes this professionally styled stage set. And to pull it all off, the magic gets outsourced, which turns parents from actual participants in the joy into, well, stressed-out project managers.
So you're pouring all this energy into creating magic. But here is the great paradox, the psychological hook that makes this a trap. The very effort you're putting in is exactly what's causing the problem to begin with. Let's break down exactly why your efforts are backfiring.
This feedback loop really lays it all out. See, it starts with this idealized vision, right? A perfect, flawless holiday. That kicks off this intense, high-stress prep phase where logistics just take over everything. Then the performance anxiety sets in. You're so worried about things going wrong that you become tense, you're not emotionally available. By the time the actual holiday rolls around, you're just wiped out, totally unable to connect. So what does your family feel? Not the magic you worked so hard for. They feel your stress.
And wow, this table just puts it all in black and white. Just look at the two columns. On one side, you've got the perfect front. The goal is to impress. The emotional state, anxiety, suppression, even resentment. The impact on your body, high cortisol, exhaustion, burnout. Now look at the other side, the values-based approach. The goal is connection. The emotional state is calm. The impact is intimacy. And the physiological result is recovery. The difference is just night and day.
Okay, so we've looked at the problem, we've seen the cost, and that can feel a little heavy. But the good news is there is absolutely a way out. So let's get into some real, tangible, evidence-based strategies you can use to break this cycle for good.
Okay, strategy number 1 is to completely change how you plan. Instead of asking, what are we supposed to do, I want you to ask, what do we actually value? Sit down and identify your top 3 family values. Maybe it's connection, or rest, or generosity. Then you audit everything on your calendar, every single thing. And you ask, does this activity serve one of our core values? If the answer is no, you have permission to cut it. And you know what? This frees you from the tyranny of doing things just because it's tradition.
Next up is a really critical mindset shift. We need to move away from what's called toxic positivity and move toward authentic vulnerability. Just bottling up negative feelings to keep up appearances, well, it just invalidates your real experience. The research is so clear on this. Acknowledging your stress, validating all your feelings, the good and the bad, is what creates psychological safety. And that feeling of safety, that's the bedrock for any deep connection.
But, okay, how do you actually do that when you're feeling pressure from family? The answer is simple. Use scripts. Seriously, having a pre-planned, assertive phrase ready to go makes setting boundaries a million times easier. For instance, we are scaling back this year to focus on rest. We will be there for dinner, but skipping the outing. It's clear, it's kind, and it totally reduces that mental gymnastics of trying to say no in the moment.
Now, I know for some of you, these strategies might sound great in theory, but you know that deep down, the same old patterns are just going to repeat themselves. You might feel totally stuck in a cycle that this kind of general advice just can't seem to touch.
Does this sound like you? You've really put in the work. You've been to therapy, you've read all the books, you've tried to change things, and yet every single year you land right back in the same spot, feeling like something is still unfinished, something's unresolved.
If that's you, it's often because this whole performative happiness thing is tied to something much deeper, way beneath the surface. So, let's talk about a real path to lasting insight, a way to understand the hidden patterns that are keeping these cycles going.
So if you're in that boat, the team at Edward, Jenny, and Associates has this unique process called the Deep Insight Process. It's a really clear 3-step path. First, you book a free consultation where you can just share your story and they help you create a personalized roadmap. Then, they guide you through this deep exploration using some really powerful psychological tools to uncover what's truly driving you. And the goal? The end goal is to let go of that old self-blame and finally feel a sense of genuine peace.
So here's the takeaway. If you are just so tired of performing and you want to find your way back to real, authentic connection, please don't let another year slip by just spinning your wheels. Knowing there's a problem is the first step, for sure, but understanding its roots is what leads to real change. Booking a consultation could be that step that helps you finally feel at home in your own skin, especially during the holidays.